Each year, there is a different animal in this world that is facing extinction, but there are only a few of them who went there and managed to rise back up. These animals have done the impossible when they returned from extinction, and this makes them truly unique. Let's see who they are. Number 10. California condor. These huge scavengers used to range throughout the southwestern United States and into northwestern Mexico, but their population drastically reduced in the 20th century, and by 1987, only a few remained, and scientists declared the California condor extinct in the wild. At this point, only 27 of them remained in captivity. This bird is the largest vulture and land bird in North America, so to save them, the US government established a captive breeding program at a few zoos across the country. Quickly, this program grew into one of the most expensive conservation projects in the history of the United States, costing over $35 million. However, the program continues to this day to produce results. In 2019, the population of the California condor included 518 individuals and only grew from there. Number 9. Caspian horse. This ancient breed has been considered extinct for over 1,000 years. It is extremely rare and barely pulled back from the edge of extinction in 1965. These tiny horses combine all of the features of a horse with the size of a pony. Today, there are less than 300 Caspians in the United States and only 750 left in the world. While this number might not sound like a lot, it is far more than what it was back in 1965. From 1965 to 1968, there were approximately 50 Caspian horses left in the world. From that moment on, a few horses were used for breeding, and during that time, they observed the growth of these animals. They managed to increase the number of Caspian horses and save them from extinction. Number 8. RAROTONGA flycatcher. Known as the Rarotonga monarch or kakarori, this small bird is native to Rarotonga, the largest of the Cook Islands. According to many, these birds went extinct in the 19th century upon the arrival of Europeans to the islands. For many years, the flycatchers were nowhere to be seen, until in the 70s and 80s, people uncovered a small number. After this discovery, there was a kakarori recovery program initiated, which would help to reduce the number of rats, which are a serious threat to these birds, and help to protect their nests. Today, there are over 400 Rarotonga flycatchers on the island, thanks to the program. The number only keeps growing each year, and they have even populated the island of Atiu, where the population is over 100 birds. Number 7. New Guinea singing dog. These dogs are best known for their haunting and unique vocalization, which often sounds like a cross between a wolf's howl and a whale song. Although they are not considered threatened now, they were considered extinct in the 1970s. At the time, only 8 singing dogs were left in the world. Today, only around 200 captive singing dogs live in conservation centers or zoos, which are descendants of the few dogs captured in the 70s. They are severely inbred due to a lack of new genes. Up until 2016, none of them have seen their natural habitat. In 2016, singing dogs were spotted when a pack walked by the cameras that were placed by researchers to locate any other singing dogs. They further proved that they were a genetically diverse population of the singing dogs, and a proof that this population is still alive in the wild. Number 6. TAKAHE. The indigenous flightless bird known as TAKAHE has been considered extinct for almost 50 years before explorers finally rediscovered it near Lake Orville. From that moment on, the TAKAHE recovery program was developed for these red-beaked birds. The captive ones were later released into the wild, resulting in a total of 30 birds released for the first time in 100 years. They were pronounced dead in 1898, decimated by predation, hunting, and habitat loss. After the success of the program, the TAKAHE became the subject of New Zealand's longest-running endangered species program and has now spread to 7 islands and several mainland locations. They rose back from extinction, and today they are free in the wild, with a population of over 400 birds. Number 5. American bison. You probably know this animal as the American buffalo or the American bison. But did you know that this animal was once considered extinct? Today, it is one of the most well-known animals that came back from extinction in North America. For many years, the bison were roaming from Alaska all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, and it became a symbol of the Old West. During the 19th century, due to commercial hunting and widespread slaughter, the bison almost went extinct. Their population went from 60 million to 541 animals by 1889. Since they are slow-moving, they presented easy targets for hunting. In the late 1800s, a small number of ranchers began to rear their herds, bred from captive bison, before releasing them into the wild. This completely saved the bison from facing extinction. Today, there are over 500,000 bison in the world. There are also several safeguards to ensure that the species survives. Number 4. Gastric brooding frog. It has been almost 50 years since the gastric brooding frog was declared extinct. Since then, many have tried to bring it back to life, or even managed to capture one if there's one to be found in the wild. Australian scientists have taken a huge step towards bringing this frog back by reactivating its DNA and producing an embryo. What is unique about this frog is the way it gives birth. While many frogs lay eggs, this one simply spits them out of the mouth. By the time scientists figured out what this frog could do, it went extinct. But as years went by and technology grew, they were able to bring the frog back to life. Today, not much is known about whether this frog is out there in the wild or kept captive, but we know that it still exists and has the capability of reproducing, so we could potentially expect to see it in the wild anytime now. Number 3. Galapagos giant tortoise. These tortoises represent a complex of 12 species that are native to the Galapagos Islands. To this day, they are the largest living species of tortoise, reaching weights up to 919 pounds. The thing that makes them unique isn't only their large size, but also their long lifespan, which can easily reach up to 177 years. Now, despite their longevity, they almost went extinct in the 20th century. Their population declined from 250,000 to around 3,000 due to many factors such as overexploitation, habitat loss, and predation by invasive species. Since their number has drastically dropped, a few legal protections were placed that restrict the hunting and trade of the tortoises. Also, there has been a captive breeding program established to encourage the reproduction between the surviving members. Today, there are around 15,000 Galapagos tortoises worldwide, and count among the animals that came back from extinction. Number 2. Eurasian beaver. Back in the day, beavers were hunted for their fur, which produces a felt that was used extensively in hat making. Beavers almost disappeared from rivers across Europe and North America. In the United Kingdom, they haven't been seen in the wild for around 400 years. They were hunted to extinction in the 16th century. Conservationists spent years fighting for their reintroduction with their successful program which will bring them back. Beavers have been proven to play a vital role in the ecosystem. The beaver dams help restore wetlands, reduce flooding, and boost insect life. Through the program, they were able to reproduce beavers and bring them back, resulting in a total of 168 individuals in the world today. Number 1. Bermuda petrel. The Bermuda petrel, also known as the CAHPE, was last seen in 1620, and as of 2020, you can still see them. How? Well, even though these birds were once considered extinct, a small number of them were spotted nesting in the east of Bermuda in the 1950s. Since then, the population has been resurrected. The Bermuda petrel has its natural habitat destroyed by sea erosion and hurricane damage. The government of Bermuda has constructed new nesting sites where the birds can nest without the worry of their habitat being destroyed again. Today, there are over 300 individuals alive worldwide. On a related note, we wanted to know, Are there any animals that came back from extinction that we forgot to mention? Let us know in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.